everybody. Thanks for popping in. Of course, you all know, check out the phone booth podcast.substack.com. I've got a very special guest this evening. Before I get to that, I do want to remind everybody and encourage you all to tune in also on Saturday evening at 6 o'clock Eastern, where we have the live with the phone booth boys there. It's a great way to spend Saturday evening. And then, of course, Pick Is In podcast will be at 11 p.m. Eastern on Saturday evening as well. But of course, do check out phoneboothpodcast.substack.com. Last housekeeping announcement, so to speak, is I've been doing the morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, the Cup of Jonah, and we've been reading through this philosophy-based book on the truth and God and all this awesome stuff. So we're just finishing tomorrow. We just kind of finished all the preamble considerations. Tomorrow we'll actually get into the structure and the order of the book to come, and then Friday we ask the first question. The chapter will be the first question that is asked about God and what we can know through natural reason, etc. Very wonderfully and beautifully grounded in Aristotle, as I'm sure you guys are aware. He's my bestie. So anyway, so without further ado, though, I do want to introduce to you guys. You may know her as the podcast queen recently, gracing us on almost every one of the podcasts of the Phone Booth Group so far, at least once, and she's just a delight to chat with. And so welcome, Bloom on Talk, Jen. Thanks for
Hey,
coming on.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
It's a
course.
pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. So I know there's so much we could talk about. And we talked a little bit beforehand, just kind of about some legal things and issues, because I know that's one of your specialities. And then we talked about relationships a little bit and men and women and all that stuff. So we could go
Yeah.
anywhere. But how are you doing today? How are you?
I'm doing really good. As I mentioned, I've been really, really busy today. This is like my busiest month of the year, because I work with a nonprofit group, which I don't talk about a lot on here, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do legal stuff and I do a lot of tech work stuff, which a lot of people don't know about. I talked with Laz a lot about that on Translucid, but he hasn't released that episode. But I have a couple decades background in technology. And so I do a lot of tech consulting, but
Okay.
I've also worked with a nonprofit group for like 10 years. And this particular nonprofit works with youth to keep them substance free.
Whoa.
And yeah, it's really cool. I really love it. I started off with that group as a volunteer parent because my kids were in that group and to
Okay.
stay substance free until I graduated. And after that, she just kind of adopted me.
Love it.
And so, yeah, but this is our busiest month because it's a nonprofit. We have to get a lot done regarding our donors and stuff like that by the end of the month. So that gets a lot of my attention this month. So
Gotcha. This month's almost over for you.
this month's almost over. No, I love it. I love her to death. She's a wonderful lady, but it is a lot. It's a lot. We're busy. So that's been taking up a lot of my time almost every day this month.
And you still find time for the phone booth boys. We appreciate you.
Well, I love the phone booth boys. I mean, me and Ted go way back. I think I mentioned this on the other podcast. Like I've known him for over 3 years. So I totally
Yeah,
support him in his efforts.
yeah,
And yeah.
that's
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
No, he's got a really good. I mean, you can kind of tell the quality of a man or of a person by the
Mhm.
people that they have around them. And I've just like almost everybody that he's introduced me to. It's just been stellar people. So it says a lot about Ted.
Thanks.
So
Same. Yeah. I mean, Ted is like, yeah, good people, just like, he's like a good people magnet, and
hmm
he's such a humble guy too. So
hmm
he's one of those people that just builds up other humans and wants them to
yeah,
succeed,
yeah,
and that's why he extends out, podcasts to other people. And he likes to see people grow, and it's not for monetary purposes. It's because he just really believes in people and
yeah,
wants them to succeed. So,
yeah. Did you hear how he and I met earlier? It's actually
uh,
almost a year ago now.
I don't
A
think
couple
so.
months
No.
shy. I
Uh-uh.
just popped into a random spaces on X, and
Okay.
it was what's your favorite conspiracy theory or something silly like that,
Okay. Yeah, that checks out.
and yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then Allie was saying some really awesome stuff about health and supplements and kind of
That also checks
the
out.
the natural way. Yeah, right.
Yep.
And then no, it was really sweet. And then right afterwards, he was like, Jonah, we gotta talk. So,
Okay.
and then here I am with. I mean,
There you are. And you
he's
have a couple of
he
podcasts. Yeah.
he kicked my butt a little bit because I
Mhm.
wanted to. I told him that I had wanted to do a podcast for a long time, and he was like, okay,
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah.
So he took away every reason I had in my head to say no
Well,
to
they're
come
kicking
on.
my butt now. A couple of them offline kicked my butt about doing my own podcast recently, and they were
There
like,
you go.
"Why aren't you doing a podcast?" And I was like, "I don't know." After the show, they're like, "You're gonna do a podcast," and I was like, "Okay." So
Yeah. Well, and it's beautiful too
it might
because
happen.
like one of the things too is because you have this from the outside looking in when it's easy to think that everything has to be perfect, and he talks about this as well, like, but just that authenticity of like, okay, it's not going to go perfectly every time, there's going to be issues here and there and whatever, so
Right. Yeah.
um so you said you have a lot of experience in the tech. Have you seen or taken advantage of rather or been impacted by a lot of the new AI developments, because it's getting pretty wild?
You know, I mean, no, I would say no, not really. I'm have a lot of I'm like an old school tech person, right? So I go like way back. So I know like how to I know hardware, I know software, I know like how to I've been on like development teams and
Cool.
I can build websites, I can do like literally everything. I can build in Excel, like the old school Excel and like
Hmm.
also the new Google,
Yeah.
platforms kind of coding.
Google
Not I'm
Sheets.
not a coder, but I started I started out as like a tech writer, okay?
Okay.
And that's how I got on development teams. But yeah, I mean, I've been like a project manager, like a systems analyst, like, yeah, I've written like all kinds of content, and I'll talked about this on some of the other podcasts, um, but yeah, I've just like, I have a double major in English and communication journalism. And then I started out doing journalism, which didn't pay the bills. And so that's how I got into tech writing. And then I got on these teams. And then it was like, I just started learning all the stuff about tech. And so I've had just all these different jobs. But most of the time, I've been an entrepreneur and worked for myself, which I prefer.
Absolutely. Yeah, it
Yeah.
gives a lot of freedom. That's great. That
Yeah.
takes a lot of courage though to kind of to be on your own and not.
It's risky.
Yeah, it
It's
is. It
risky.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
But I don't like
Um,
people telling me what to do. So,
right.
yeah.
Why does that not surprise me, Jen?
I know, right? Shocking. I really hate people telling me what to do. And also just well, it's been like a moral thing too. I usually row up against other people's ethics and morals, right? And they start doing crazy things. And I just take a I just can't work for companies that want to harm others. And I'm gonna leave, right? I'll just work for myself again. And that's usually how it happens. Right.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting you say that because I had, I've always been like in the startup space for a long time. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
it's not quite working on your own, but it's similar in a lot of ways because there's just a bunch of, a few people wearing a number of different hats and trying to figure stuff out and invent it as they go. And
Yeah.
there was a small investment fund that I had helped build from like, I don't know, it was like three. Oh, my volume is low. I'm just seeing this. Okay, I'll lean in a little bit. I always do that. I get so relaxed and I'm like, we're in the
Are you
living room
relaxed?
together. We're just chilling. So I just saw that. Amy
There.
says she's a coder, decoder, and we have incorporated AI to work for us. Interesting.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
one thing that's really interesting that I just found out about a couple days ago
Hmm.
is there's this new thing. It's called Claude, not like the Anthropic AI, but
Hmm.
Claude, CLAWD bot, Claude bot.
Hmm.
It's 100% completely autonomous. So they recommend you getting a second
Mhm.
computer, like another little laptop or something, to
Yeah.
run it on, and it can
Oh.
control the browser. And you basically just say, "Hey, I need this. This is my business. You now work for me. Figure it out." And it'll come with suggestions in the morning, like, "Okay, over the
Mhm.
night, I coded this new app for you to use." Like,
Right.
it's just wild, and
Wow.
it's just accelerating all the AI developments. It's exciting and frightening at the same time, right?
Yeah, I will just say fundamentally, like I'm anti AI. I kind of posted about this that I think is demonic. Like I don't interact with it. I do, of course, I have to, and I do, and I will, but I don't
Hmm.
like do that a lot. I don't like to. Like I'm kind of opposed to it.
No,
Right.
I get it. I get it. And it's actually kind of the thing that I find this kind of touches a little bit on something we were talking about before we went live here. But
Hmm.
like this current administration, because we're talking about the censorship on X, right?
Yeah.
And how even our code words for different things they're picking up on now, and they
Right.
understand the reference, and
Hmm.
it's really negatively impacting everything. Well, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. We're not out there for views or money, but it helps, you
It
know.
helps.
Um,
Yeah.
but what was that? But like with this current administration, it's like you were saying that you were suppressed for pushing, like for, not, for promoting or
I mean,
talking positively about
I'm
vegans.
on Stu
Is that it?
Peters 3 times, okay, which should have boosted me a lot. And
Yeah.
instead, I was explaining this before the show. Um, I was actually slapped specifically. Actually, I ran that algo code, which he posted about. I was slapped specifically with his name in it. It was specifically
Dang.
for being on his show and for the subject matter, which I was basically I'm trying to remember what was the word, but it was whatever subject matter I was on his show for was it was slapped specifically for that subject matter as
Hmm.
well, which I was on there to discuss Erica Kirk's fake grievance. And so
Right.
it was I don't know if the word was body language or something like that. Like but decoding other people's body language was a slap for me. And
It's
yeah,
amazing.
I was punished for that. And I'll say the other thing was I was slapped for talking about vegan diets on Ted's show, right? And so that was a specific slap because, of course, they don't want you talking about anything other than Trump's inverted pyramid diet. So anything that goes against that narrative, they're going to slap you. They're going to run the algo on you and get you deplatformed, shadowed, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, you can't talk about anything that's not 100%, you know,
I- In the
Elon
regime's
or
party,
Trump.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the regime's party line or talking points. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild. Um, Now,
for
I
sure.
wouldn't censor you for it, but I couldn't agree with you about the vegan diet.
Well, no, you don't have to do it. And that's what we talked about on the show. It's like, I'm not anti-meat. I'm not
Yeah,
anti-meat eaters. Like I talked a lot about on the show. I was just, which,
it's
you
wild
know,
though. Yeah,
I've been a vegetarian for 32 years and I don't, I've always made meat for my family, my partners, like, whatever. I've never
yeah,
been an anti-meat person, but people make the assumption, right? If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, that's
it's
like
true.
you hate meat eaters and you go at you really hard. It's
Well, it's
crazy.
like, have you heard the joke? How do you tell if someone's vegan?
No, what?
They'll tell you.
Oh yes, I've heard that joke, right? Well, over the years, people have like I would say for at least 15 years, they would be like, "Are you still a vegetarian?" Like, and finally they stopped asking me, right? But it took that long because they were like, they just consider it like a lifestyle, and I'm like, no, it's not a lifestyle. This is me. Not gonna
Yeah,
do it. They kept asking and kept asking. And I'm like, no, there's
that's
gonna come
funny.
a point where you guys stop asking me, but it took a long time.
Well, what's interesting to me about that particular fact that you mentioned about you being suppressed on X for s- speaking
Mhm.
positively about the pyramid as it was, so to speak, before it was inverted, right?
Right.
Like, to me, that's wild because it's kind of confirming my fear has been with this regime. I'm calling it that now just because it fits.
Hmm.
Is that is like, so as you know, when he was coming back to power, um, I was like, well, yes. Here's the thing: everybody's going to be cheering, yay, yay, yay! Let's get rid of the illegals, and I'm like, everyone's going to be happy when he deploys military in the streets to get rid of all these criminals and these illegals, but then those deployed forces are going to turn their attention to somebody else, and you're not going to like it, you know. So we'll see.
So, okay, I'll talk to you about this for a minute. So I didn't post anything about ICE and all of that, and because I think it's all psyop, okay? And I pretty much think everything's a psyop because I'm that level of conspiracy realist, okay?
Yeah.
Now I had an interesting conversation with a family member the other day who called me, and we're talking about normal stuff. And then they asked me, and I have said this. I have very few family members who talk to me at this point because of what I post.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, but this
Right there
person
with you.
called me, yeah, and they're like, okay. After we're talking, all of a sudden they said, "What do you think of these ICE videos?" And I said, I don't watch them." And then they got really angry at me and were yelling at me, like, "What do you mean you're not watching them? How can you not watch them? The world's on fire," kind of stuff, whatever. And I'm like, I don't believe 99% of what's out there. I said, I don't watch, I don't own a TV. I don't
Hmm.
watch mainstream media. And they're like, "Why don't you watch mainstream media?" And I was like, I've never watched the news in my adult life ever. But I was getting yelled at for it. And anyway, so long story short, they said, "Promise me you'll go watch some ICE videos." And I said, "Okay, fine." I go watch them. So I went and watched a couple of them. I watched the one like with the van driving,
Hmm.
over. Okay. And of course, I see in this video that there is in the background a giant dinosaur crushing a car. Like it's CGI, right? And so I sent this to my family member and I posted about it yesterday. I was like, okay, because I finally, and that's the only reason I even went to watch one, because obviously my gut instinct is like, this is a psyop. It's just another psyop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Crickets. I got no response. but
Of
I'm just
course.
saying, like, there's like a psyop like every single day, and I just don't watch. I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
So what's interesting is like the more conservative leaning, the more right leaning folks, I think for a long time have been awake to psyops because
Mhm,
we've seen, the laptop get covered up. We've seen
mhm.
the Hillary
Well,
and
the
her,
pandemic in general, like, woke
all of
a
it,
lot of us
so
up to
much.
like
Yeah.
everything's just a psyop right at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the thing that really blew my mind though, and what kind of woke me up to the fact that actually the conservatives are being psyop just as much as well. It's both
Mhm.
sides. Was
Yeah.
when I think it was the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. There's
Oh,
one
yeah.
scene where
Right.
his attorney is speaking, and you can see the aisle of the courthouse, and somebody walks in the door. You can just see like from the knee down, and his foot disappears at some
Yeah, I
point, and
saw
then
that. Yeah.
glitches
Mhm.
back, right?
Right,
And so
right.
it's like, okay, all right, like this is all. It's so funny. So one of my earlier, not earliest, but earlier memories growing up, and one of the things I'm most grateful to my parents for is I remember I was probably, gosh, I don't know how old I was. Actually, it wasn't that early. 8 to 10, somewhere around there. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly,
Mhm.
but they were like, "All right, we've got a fun project for you guys this Saturday." We're like, "What? What?" They pulled the
Mhm.
TV out into the backyard on the patio, and they're like, "Here's some bricks. Destroy it." We're like,
Mhm.
"What?" And that was it. We never had TV in the house after that for a long,
Right.
long time. So I think that's one of the greatest blessings because then our minds were just filled with other things, creativity,
Right. It's filled with
imagination,
other things.
curiosity.
I
Yeah.
just noticed Shiva said something about like basically everything's a psyop. And so I,
Hmm.
I want to talk about that for a second because cognitive dissonance, right? And this is what really blows my mind because when you said like people basically on the conservative side, like kind of knowing that, but I don't know, like this is so in our friends group, okay, we have people who say everything's a lie, right? We hear that a lot, everything's a lie. But I don't know that they really believe that because do they really believe that? Because I see people talking about these shootings like they're real when they know school shootings aren't real, but then all of a sudden they see these ICE shootings and they believe those are real and they just want to talk about it. And I think it's entertaining to talk about, but how can you not know that's not real?
I know. Yeah.
Right? You
No.
can't believe two things at the same time. Like you say everything's a lie, but you don't really believe everything's a lie.
Well, and that's like actually, I'm curious. I don't know if it's ever come up. I know. Are you of the opinion that we're in a heliocentric world, or are you uh, like, do you see the Earth as something else?
Heliocentric. Heliocentric, but also that's another good question because here we are. We believe it's heliocentric or do we believe it's a simulation or both? And can those
Right.
exist at the same time?
Right. Well, it's interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, I was, I mean, my uncle worked for NASA growing up. And so I had in my
Hmm.
head and heart, I wanted to be like, I did my calculations according to my,
Hmm.
you know, 18-year-old mind. And I was like, I could be the first man on Mars. The years
Uh-huh.
work out according to what they're planning and I could do it. And so that's why I initially was studying aeronautical engineering. But, so I was all into astronomy and astrophysics and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And so it's funny because I actually came to the opinion first for me, like coming to like where Ted and the guys are now, not believing we're a sphere at all, is I went first to geocentric, where like, okay, well, everything
Hmm.
is moving around us, and we're still a sphere though. But anyway, so then eventually I
Yeah.
came to see through that lie as well. But I don't think we're in a simulation, strictly speaking.
Hmm.
I think in the sense that the most real thing is the God, the uncaused cause, the unmoved mover, philosophical
Right.
God, right? Like
Yeah.
that, prescinding from a religion, that because that's the case and that's the most real thing that's not material at all,
Yeah.
therefore there's something illusory or sub being of about our reality that's kind of perception. There's something real to it as well, obviously, but there's something less real about this. you know so
Yeah.
in that sense, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm
But
going to turn off. I didn't realize I have WhatsApp open and I don't want it binging us.
no, you're good.
Okay. Just heard a bing. Um,
That's it.
yeah, what also, and another thing that I'll bring up is like, there's also this belief which I share about, being in like a 3D and wanting to get to the 5D, and we can get into a whole discussion about dimensions, but like that existing at the same time, right? If
Hmm.
you believe in heliocentric model and again the simulation model, but also existing in other dimensions, right? And so, and I mean, I call it cognitive dissonance, but I don't know everything. But I'm just pointing this out to people who discuss all of these things. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, do we
It's
believe all
true.
these things at the same time? Because we
It's
talk about
true.
all these things all the time.
Yeah, no, and it's actually really interesting, like the idea for cognitive the analogy for cognitive dissonance,
Hmm.
is like when you have two magnets on the table, that are both facing the same direction. You can't, like magnetic coins or whatever, you can't move them
Right,
closer to each other, and they kind of resist until click, one of them flips, and then they connect, right? So one of them.
right.
So I feel like that's how so many times in my life I have something that I know for certain is true, right?
Hmm.
And then there's something else that I believe for some reason, and
Right.
then those two don't work together, and that's the cognitive dissonance where you're just kind of like, I don't know what.
Yeah. That's right. Do you believe something or do you know something?
That's
Do you
true.
know things at the same time that are completely different, or do you believe 5 things
It's
and then
true.
you don't know anything?
And then you think about how our culture has developed, especially with all the modern niceties and
Hmm.
comforts. Those have effectively just little by little, step by step, withdrawn us or removed us from nature. And so we have
Hmm.
less and less actual knowledge
Hmm.
through our senses and our own experience. And we have more and more just information that we're getting from trusted sources. Or so, how much of what we know or think we know is actually just belief because an authority told us rather than actually, you
Right.
know?
Well, I think we're just over infiltrated with hero worship, you
Yeah.
know, and these are like self-appointed heroes, right? Like NFL or religious leaders or
Hmm.
Hollywood, you name it, right? They're just all these people that we've been, like we've been in a cult of whatever your choice is, telling us like you have to worship these people in some way, these musicians, actors, whatever, that you just supposed to worship these people. And so everybody just falls in line like sheeples, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta worship these people, and I have to watch this game, and I have to do all this stuff because that's
Mm-hmm.
just what's been put in my head. And that's again when we say everything's a lie. Okay, I'll break free from this one hero worship over here, but now I'm just going to go worship this other lie over here and think
Yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah. And so you have like people in the camp of, where the hero is the Obamas on the left and the villain is Trump in the right, and then some
Yeah.
people will flip and then their hero's Trump and the other
I
side's the
mean, like,
villains.
why are you
It's just,
even participating?
yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
just,
What's interesting, I thought for a while, is I know we think that Hollywood is all the movies and everything are entertainment, and we
yeah.
know that there's some like pre-programming, obviously, but I wonder if part of it isn't like experimentation. They're like, all right, well, what's the timing and the cadence for the developing of the hero story? What's the timing and the cadence for this or that,
Mm.
right? And I
Yeah.
think so that when they put on the final show, so to speak, to achieve their global control or whatever they're working towards, those goals, right? Whatever those
Hmm.
goals that they're working towards, it almost seems like they've gamed out the scenario via, like, by playing with our emotions and seeing which ones are the most believable and popular in the
Yeah.
theaters. So it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I see a lot of comments, but I don't have my, I mean, these contacts are like not good. I can't really
Yeah,
see,
so
really,
Shiva
can't
said
really
lie.
see them.
Shiva said lie and psychological operation aren't always the same thing. Remove the fear, discern what's best, and act. I agree with you. Yeah, fear. If you think about it, fear is one of the only two human emotions that cause us to act against our reason, against what we know to be best. Fear got a lot
Good
of
point.
people to
Hmm.
take the jab, and the other
Right.
emotion is anger. I think those are the two most powerful
That's
emotions that
interesting.
get people to
Mhm.
do things that they never in their right minds would have done,
Yeah,
pretty much,
absolutely. Yeah.
And then Shiva says nothing requires worship, all require experience. So, but
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's true. Fear drives people to do things they would never ever ever do, and it's a very powerful tool, and
hmm
it's used in, all institutions, right?
hmm
This is why people get indoctrinated, and I mean, talk about the jab, right? Like, this is why everybody was forced to take, you have to take it or you're getting kicked out of school, you
hmm
know, or you can't go to school or you can't go to work. So
hmm
yeah, you're in fear of losing your job, you're in fear of losing your education, you're in fear of going to do anything. You can't get on a plane, you can't do this. Yeah, it's all fear, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then the other one I think is really important too. I think a lot of people are awake to the fear thing. For me, because I'm a passionate guy, like
Hmm.
you know, I really care about a lot of things that are very important, I think, right? And so
Yeah.
like when I see a young helpless Ukrainian girl stabbed to death, I got, for a while there, I was just, every day I was so angry
Yeah.
at the situation and at this forced migration and all this other stuff that's just. And then I took a step back, and again, that's a great example of what you were saying, like how much do we actually practice what we believe, in the sense of, is it's all a psyop, right? Okay, so why
Yeah.
are you getting bent out of shape about this, right?
Right, right.
What's going on here? Come on, Jonah.
Absolutely. And yeah, so when people tell me that, like I said, I get these phone calls like, "Don't you care?" I mean, this person, this family member, actually told me I was culpable in the murders because I wasn't using my platform to
Mm,
talk about their liberal viewpoint, which is hilarious because these my family members, I told you, don't talk to me because of my platform, and now they want me to use my platform to
yeah.
push their viewpoint. I mean, it's just
You're
I
like,
can't
okay,
make
so
it
you
up.
shunned me because I have a platform. Now you're shunning
Right.
me because
because
for a
I
different
won't
reason.
use my platform
Yeah,
to push an
exactly.
agenda that is the opposite of what I believe.
Right. Make up your minds.
And go ahead and this here comes the gaslighting. So, like you're culpable in these murders because you're not believing what I'm telling you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
I don't
gaslighting is such a powerful tool. And
know. Mhm.
I see so much of that coming out of this administration right now. The gaslighting is just wild. It's constant, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's pretty interesting. But
Yeah, we
yeah.
talked about this on the narcissist episode that I did
Yeah.
with yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. That was fun.
yeah.
So,
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
well, so segueing off of the concept of narcissism and
Okay.
gaslighting,
Yeah.
um, we said we wanted to talk a little bit about relationships, and
Okay.
I had mentioned to you beforehand about Alison Armstrong. So you haven't heard of Alison Armstrong
No.
before?
Mm.
Okay. So she wrote a book, I think it was 10 years, 12 years ago, I don't know exactly, called The Queen's Code. And it
Okay.
basically, like, the whole point was because she went to a seminar with her best friend years ago, and her best friend was so angry at what this guy was saying, stood up and said, it's all, why are men such dirt bags? Whatever. I can't, I don't remember all the exact words and
Right.
concepts or whatever. And this guy who was giving this presentation, he talked to her for a couple minutes, and then he says, "You, madam, are a frog farmer." And she's like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Some some women, when they find a frog, they make him into a prince. Others will go find princes and make them frogs." Like, you have to embrace your own responsibility in the relationship and
Yeah.
realize, what you're doing. Anyway, so Allison's got so many great takes on things. But
Okay.
she's just, for everybody watching, definitely check out Allison Armstrong. But
I
she's
will.
just a fantastic insight. One of the
Here's-
things that, like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I have yet to find a relationship coach because I watch a lot of those people.
Hmm.
I have yet to find a relationship coach who is female who I like want to watch again. So I'm definitely gonna go find that. I like there's several guy relationship coaches that I do follow
Hmm.
and yeah, I just have yet to find a female. So
So one of the things, okay, so she had like a couples retreat or a couples
mhm.
seminar, and she had everybody. This one's still like this one little example that she gave changed how I behaved in my have behaved in my relationships ever since. So she
Okay.
goes, okay, and you're gonna know right away where this is going.
Okay.
Many of the men he watching may not. So she's like, all right, gentlemen, everybody, all these gentlemen, raise your hand. Um, if you everybody raise your hand. Now put your hand down if you felt afraid for your physical safeties at some point in the last 10 years. And a few people put their hands down. And then she was like, okay, how about 5 years? A few more put their hands down. Right. So as she went, like,
Hmm.
almost nobody had almost men had almost never, you had to go back 10 years for some of these guys to actually feel any physical
Right.
threat to their physical well-being and safety. And she's like, all right, ladies.
Yeah.
So actually, I told it a little different. What she said is, she started at the last month for men, and then went to 6 months, a year, five
Okay.
years, 10 years, and the
Yeah, I
last
know
one of those
exactly where you're going with this.
only fell down after 10 years, right?
Right.
Um, but for women, she's like, all right, now she went the other way. She started at a month, and she's like, put your hand down if you felt afraid, or put your hand. Anyways, she worked forward, and about half the women had still felt afraid physically for their safety in the last day or two.
Yeah.
And that, like, to a man, that's not even, that's like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so, like, since I saw that, like, I am super super, like, it's just human instinct, especially like as brothers, like when we vie with each other, if someone gets in our face toe to toe, we get in their face toe to toe, match their tone and their
Hmm.
volume and their intensity, right?
Right.
So just instinctively, if someone is being really aggressive with you and raising their voice in a relationship, it's tempting to, as a man, to just meet that energy and match it.
Right.
But that's so detrimental because it's received so differently on the other side,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
Uh-huh.
so, like, from that point, like, it's so funny, like, I won't ever raise my voice well, I'm not
Yeah.
perfect. I have on a rare
Right.
occasion, but
Yeah.
if I'm when I'm in control, I never ever. And then
Right.
even to the point where if I need something, if I'm in the kitchen and they're in the living room or on the other side of the house or whatever, instead of like
Hmm.
yelling, "Hey, when you come in, could you or whatever or what the plans for this weekend, whatever," right? No, no, no. I'll
Right.
get up, walk into the doorway, and in normal voice speak because it's.
That's really insightful of you. And I'll share something personal.
Mhm,
Okay, so I grew up in domestic violence, like very really severe. And so when somebody yells at me, like I instantly feel like I'm gonna get hit. And I know
mm,
logically I'm not gonna get hit,
mm.
but and so I had a long-term relationship and he was Italian. And this is really okay. So, and he would never hit me. Okay.
Mm,
But I never dated an Italian before. I didn't know how it worked. Okay. I didn't know that was a part of dating an Italian. And so the first time he yelled at me, I freaked out, right? And I of course told him like, you can't yell at me.
mm,
Like I really get scared. And of course he worked his best to not yell at me, but it was an issue because
yeah.
I had such a fear response, and I tried to, help him, but he's like, "I'm not yelling at you. I'm Italian." And I'm like, "No, no, then stop being Italian, okay? Like I
You're like, but
can't
I'm not
handle
Italian, okay? I'm
like
not.
stop being Italian, okay? Come on."
Oh
No,
man.
but it was a real problem. And so
Mm,
I think when you're dealing with somebody who's been through that, with
mm,
somebody who's been through something like that as a child, you have to understand that your intended like thing that you're trying to do is not always going to be received in the way that. And even if you don't have a traumatic childhood, I think as a woman, just what yours is saying, like we always feel like we have to be on the deviance. We don't know if we're going to be harmed in some kind of way. It's just something that about us. And so if you raise your voice, it is going to be off-putting to us and it is scary. And
mm.
you're bigger than us.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know
No.
you can trap us at any moment. And like, where are we going to go? Right.
Well, and it's like for better or for worse, like I know, men know instinctively that there are probably relatively few men that most men feel that they could impose their will upon physically,
Hmm.
right? That's just it'd be a fight, and wouldn't it
Right.
wouldn't be pretty. But like for most men could impose their will on most women, if and like so that's
Right.
it. And I think that yeah, you guys feel that.
Yeah.
You
I feel
understand
it.
that, and that's why like a lot of times guys will be like, oh, women are so manipulative, they're so they're always trying to deceive and not they don't ever say what they mean. I'm like,
That's the whole entire theme of Laz's
I know,
show.
I know. Well, but if you
I
think
hope you're
about
in
it,
here,
it's
Laz,
like,
listening.
come on, Les,
Come
step
on,
in,
Laz.
I'll send you the link.
Touch
No,
the
I'm kidding.
mic, Laz.
Let's go, let's talk about this. No, but it's like if you can't, it's like, okay, so just look at between nations, for example, to draw an
Mhm.
analogy to it, right? Like if we don't
Yeah.
feel like we can actually go to war and beat Russia for the longest time in the Cold War, whatever we didn't.
Uh-huh.
So spy craft was
Uh-huh.
developed and used in advance. So what is that? It's subversion, it's triangulation, it's subtlety,
Uh-huh.
it's manipulation, it's subterfuge, right? Like
Yes.
because if you don't feel like you can overcome the person with force or the opponent with force, then what are you left with? You
Right.
have to you have to be less than transparent in your motives and intentions because if you are, that's a vulnerability,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so like I don't know, and this is where for me, and I can just imagine some of the gentlemen watching are kind of like, oh no, you can't add fuel to this fire, bro. Like no, no, no. Think about it. And actually, this is why like men and women both need to watch. I'm a big fanboy, Allison fanboy. She's 30 years too old for me, but that's fine. um, but no, she's such a wonderful. But she really underlines and helps both of the sexes understand the compatibility and the beauty of our differences. Like we're not the same, and that's wonderful. We're built very different. Like we alluded to it earlier because you were mentioning. I don't think you'll mind me saying this, but beforehand you were mentioning just kind of the lighthearted complaint that you're not as good at multitasking as you used to be.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
suck at it. Terrible.
but what's
Yeah.
interesting is so there's Allison talks about diffused awareness, which women have, because think of hunters gatherers. Men are single focused, and they can focus for a long period of time on one thing. And then, have you ever been in a relationship where a guy, like, he gets from home from work or whatever, and he just needs a few minutes to like get home and detox and like
Yeah.
transition from work mode to I'm home and I'm present to you as your
Yeah.
man type of thing, right? That's
Yes.
because men are so focused on the one thing in front of them. Hunt the deer,
Mhm.
get the deer, hunt the deer, kill the deer. Like, that's the hunter mentality. Whereas
Right.
as the ladies are like anthropologically gathering, right? Oh, there's some berries over
Mhm.
there and over there. There might be a snake over there. There's, the
Yeah.
kids are off this. So the diffused awareness actually comes with estrogen. So as women get older, as the estrogen levels start to decrease, they get more and more single focused, like, and
Interesting.
resemble
Yeah.
men more, which is why
Mhm.
probably well, I've uh, you confirmed it earlier in our brief conversation before we went live here. Like, you understand men a lot better now than you
Yes.
probably did 10, 20 years ago, right?
A lot
um,
better. Yeah.
yeah, similar reason, right? It's just because that diffused awareness is
Mhm.
dwindling as you kind of focus into that hunter
Right.
mode, so to speak. So
I've never had it explained why I was so good at multitasking and now I'm just not.
isn't it interesting?
So that's a very interesting concept. Yeah. Mm.
So it's so funny because then when somebody tells me like, man, can you multitask, I'm like, happily no.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that one. That's good stuff right there.
I'm like,
I
thank
can't
you, thank you.
yeah, I can't see the comments for you, but
Oh yeah, so
Hell
Amy,
just wrote something. What did she say?
yes, Amy said, I never had issues with abuse in any of my relationships, but I did have two close grape attempt encounters where pepper spray saved me. All my Krav
Oh,
Maga training
wow.
was useless. Didn't remember a thing. I'm really sorry you went through that. Thank goodness for that pepper spray, though.
Yep.
And it's so true. So, like, it doesn't even matter. How do I tell this story? So there was when I first moved to Georgia, I was helping with a non for profit, and in this house, that the guy who was starting and funding the whole non for profit, he put all of us who were working for the non for profit in this one house with 3 bedrooms, and so there was like 3 guys and a girl, and then there's
Hmm.
another girl that would come through sometime as well. But anyways, so she was like a gym rat,
Okay.
and and at one point there was some tension at the house. I won't get into all the details because like she was just like left the house, the kitchen, an absolute pigsty, just piling dishes and everything like that, and then would get on the
No.
guys in the house for walking heavily down the hallway. Anyway, so it was like total a childish,
Wait. So she
deluded, right?
rat, but she also like leaves everything messy.
Yeah, it was crazy,
So
right?
weird. Yeah.
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 So it was just really not. It was very self-centered, childish behavior, right?
Okay.
She was a young gal,
Okay.
but anyway, so at one point, I don't remember what she said, but she was like yelling at me, and I was like, all right, oh, hold on, just don't start, don't, just relax and let's talk about this like adults when you're ready to having that conversation. And she's like, oh no, I want to throw down right now. Her boyfriend was actually my personal trainer at the time, and she's like,
Okay.
and as a gym rat, and like I'm trying to get back into shape. So I'm not, it's like, I'm not a heavy
Right.
lift. I'm not a power lifter. Right.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
so like, she's like, I can, I lift heavier weights or whatever. Right. And I'm like, you don't get it. It doesn't even matter about that. Like,
Right.
that doesn't even matter because I mean, high school soccer teams,
Yeah.
boys, be professional. It's not about, it's the physiology. It's actually about the blood content. So
Hmm.
our
Okay.
white blood cell count is higher, and so we actually have more explosive power. We can get oxygen. No, I'm sorry. Our red blood cell count is higher, so we can actually get
Hmm.
oxygen to our whole body much faster. So the
Well, we know
explosive
that.
power. the explosive power
Yeah.
is just so much different, you know, and our
Right.
center of gravity is higher, so the leverage and all that other anyway. So there's just so many reasons. It's just kind of like, okay,
Yeah. Okay.
so Krav Maga, exactly. It doesn't matter the training. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. That's what brought that story up as a comment from Amy. So, but anyways, yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
really matter because it's not about that. It's not about raw strength necessarily.
Right. Wow.
But
Okay. Interesting. So wait, no, no, you can't just leave it there. Like, what happened? Did the dishes situation get figured? Like, what happened?
oh, so I was just basically like, look, I walk past your doorway in like because I go out for my morning coffee and my sun
Yeah.
and my breathing exercise, right? Like I'm like my morning routine, like I'm not disturbing anybody. I walk softly down like barefoot. I'm not in huge
Right.
heavy steel toe boots or whatever. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, don't you think it's a little hypocritical? I'm like, look at this kitchen.
Yeah.
Like we all patiently have asked you like 10 times over the last 2 months
Right.
to be considerate of the other people in the house. So then she got all passive aggressive and it was just a disaster. Like
Well, that sounds like.
luckily I was luckily my days in that house were already numbered. I was already looking at the
Oh,
place
okay.
I moved into now. But anyways, yes, any Amy, it's I believe I yeah, 100%. Any woman claiming she's as strong as any guy is honestly delusional. It's fact. But the sad thing is though, I don't think that most men truly appreciate that. It's like what you were saying
Mm,
before, like when we're in the last what we were just talking about, like men don't understand the impact of just that simply just raising a voice,
yeah.
how that hits differently.
Right.
What's up,
I also don't
Faray?
understand like women who want to compete with men. Like, why? Like, it's just to me. I mean, it's. I know men just do. First of all, don't find that attractive at all in a woman, but also, just why? Why do you want to? There's so much we have so many problems like doing the things that we need to get done, and like, you really want to spend your time competing with a man? Like, it just seems like ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and also like if you think not only that, but like that's one of the things that like I lament about our culture is that because women are encouraged to build their own careers and not
Yeah.
like and obviously like I know I'm speaking to a career woman and I have respect for what you've done with building your businesses and things, but like if you realize what it takes, we were talking about before we were talking about some corporate cutthroat stuff that goes on, right, where men
Yeah.
are vying for positions within a corporation and stuff. But like in order to excel really at certain out in the workplace, you have to have that single focus,
Yeah.
which takes it's so much more exhausting for a woman who's naturally more diffused. And so
Right.
she has to be in hunter mode with her
Yeah.
testosterone, using that, leaning into that testosterone. And then, of course, when she gets home, there's no sex drive because that takes testosterone. She's just used it all. you know, of course, there's no, of course, there's not as much peace in the home.
Hmm.
And then now she's even more exhausted.
Hmm.
Like it's just, there's so many compounding problems that comes with
Yeah.
that.
But like, it's I can tell you a funny story. So I, like I said, I was in this long term relationship for 5 to 7 years. I say 5 to 7 because you know how these things get.
Yep.
So it was it was in the 5 to 7 year period
Yeah.
where I had a car issue, and it was the battery, which I knew, and he came over to jump the car, and anyway, he was jumping it wrong, and I knew it
Mm.
because I bled my brake, changed the alternator. I know my way around a car. Okay, my
Hmm.
dad was a mechanic, but I never told him this during the relationship, of course. Um, I mean, I do not want to do these things, right? But he was doing it wrong. He had put the cables on wrong, and I'm like, and so at this point, I have to speak up, right? And I get up, I go over, and I'm like, you're doing this wrong. You're gonna blow a freaking car up, like, you know. And he was like, no, 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 you know. And I was like, listen, I like my car, you know. So I had to like tell him, and he's like, did you watch a video or something? I was like,
So funny.
no. And he's like, why didn't you ever tell me this? And I'm like, because I know how to do everything you know how to do. I just I don't want to. Like, I don't want to compete with you. Do you think I want to do all these things that you've always done for me? And it was like he was like he got this scrambled look on his face, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny. Well, and actually, that's you bring up a good point because it's not about whether or not you can do something. It's about whether or not you should, or whether or not you'd like
Yeah,
to.
I don't want to.
Like there's a, I had a funny conversation. This is like probably 12 years ago now, but sitting with a bunch of friends from church or whatever, and this one
Right.
guy who was like he was the gym rat. He was
Mhm.
I mean, this was before what's his name, that gross bald Romanian guy. What is his name? Um, he's like everywhere. Anyway, Tate, Andrew Tate.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that guy.
so he goes. So he's like definitely in that type of a black pill dude mentality, right?
Right, 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 right.
And
Yeah.
so he's like intentionally where because there's probably about like 5 or 6 guys and there's about 8 to 10 gals with us, right? And
Hmm.
he's like, yeah, well, the thing is today, women don't appreciate when you open the door and they get upset and everything, and so you just can't even do that anymore. And I'm like, bro, are you a leader or not? And he's like, what? I'm like, just open the door, let them be upset. They might be upset on the
Yeah.
surface, but if deep down inside they appreciate it, just open the damn door.
I I just find that so hard to believe. I don't go out like I live the hermit life, but like I've never been somewhere in real life where a woman gets upset that you open the door for her. Even a libtard. Like I know they're out there. I exist with them, but I've never been in a situation where I've seen somebody actually get upset that you open the door for them. Like
So I
I
lived in
don't
Chicago for a while, and that's happened to me before.
really.
So and I just smile, and I'm like, oh, yeah, please.
That's just I don't
So
know.
I mean,
Yeah, I've been a hermit for a while now, so maybe I just haven't. Maybe it's so woke tarded out there that I just haven't really had enough
yeah,
real life
yeah,
experience with it.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't.
yeah. No, it's interesting. Yeah, I think it's sad to see how, and I guess it's on. I mean, it's on both sides. It's the women as well. I mean, it's the men as well, right? The men have this perception that women are XYZ. Amy's correcting me. Tate is not Romanian. Laz is going to come after me.
He's
Half
he's
British,
re-
half
he's re-
American.
he's retardian.
Yeah, whatever he is. Yeah, let Laz come after me. Come at me, bro.
Is Laz in here or no?
Is Laz a, is Amy is Laz a big Tate fan? Is that what you're telling me? That's so funny. Um, but
I would be surprised.
right, right. No,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think yeah, we're just in a very retardian. Amy, Amy, love that. That's good. Um, no, but yeah, I think it's yeah, it's just sad because there's such a disconnect between the sexes right now.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
Laz is Romanian. Gotcha. Okay, all right. I thought Laz was
Is
part
he? I thought he was
Hungarian.
Hungarian.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought he
I
was
know he's part
Hungarian.
Hungarian. He might be part Romanian as well. That I don't know. We'll have to check.
He's definitely Nephilim.
Yeah, yeah. 6'8". What is he? Something like that.
he's, he's a big dude. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to at some point meeting all y'all in person. It'll be fun
Yeah.
eventually. I plan on going down to Florida and meeting Ted this summer, and then
I've
it's
been advertising a hermit party for a while now, and we're lining them up, like all the co-hermits.
yes. You would love the house I'm renting right now. It's
Yeah.
a metal container home up in the hills,
Oh, wow.
beneath me. So I got solar panels on the roof, well water, totally off the grid, and then beneath me there's a field of cows that the landlord uh, takes care of, and it's
Oh,
just
nice.
it's paradise. It takes me 10 minutes on winding country roads through the forest to get downtown.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So it's the hermit in me lives on.
It sounds really peaceful.
Yeah.
We got Deanna in here.
Yeah.
She's coming to the hermit party.
All
Yes,
right.
she is. She is definitely coming to the hermit party. Yeah, we have all
uh,
kinds of entertainment lined up too, don't we, Deanna?
uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, one of I it was so funny. I almost
Mm.
one of your posts about the was like one of the acrobats
Oh yeah,
hanging from the pole or whatever and doing this some kind of acrobatic stuff. I
yeah.
was almost like because the suggestion is so ridiculous, so I was almost like, hey, how did that? I thought asked you not to share that private video that you took of
Ah.
me or something like that, you know?
Oh, that's hilarious. Right. Stop stalking me.
Oh my god.
So flattered.
No, but it's so yeah, it's funny because like I'm yeah like because the reason I brought up the container house is because I'm like I probably I might go to brunch like once a weekend basically, like I'll go out once a week in
Yeah.
the late morning with a couple buddies, you know, I'm like
Yeah.
so it's yeah
Yeah.
you can
Well, I leave my house like 1 to 2 times a month.
there you go. And
That's really,
Instacart, is that how you get your groceries?
oh, everything's ordered online.
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah,
ordered online. And I go to 1 to 2 parties a year. I
there
go
you
to the
go.
big party, which is my broker hosts a big party, which I go to, holiday party, and then I maybe go to like a law party. You know, that's what I did this year, and I just refused to go to, and I said I was going to go to more, but then I'm like, oh damn it, I have COVID.
Again.
Again.
Little do they know you've probably never taken a COVID
Little
test
they
in your
know I don't
life.
believe COVID is real, and I've never
Any
taken.
port in a storm, right?
Oh, you liberals, I have COVID. I just took 15 tests and they're all positive. I can't show up. I'm so sorry.
It's so funny. Well, it's funny too because like a lot of those work functions or a lot of those parties
Mhm.
like you're talking about are just
Right.
they're just nobody is who they are even like
No, no. And even well, even I'll say this, like, so my broker, I'm a realtor, okay, but I don't realtor anymore. But I still, my broker is like very, he's also a massive conspiracy theorist and
nice,
very right wing, and like he's like my mentor, like
nice.
bestie, right? So love that guy.
Yeah.
So, and he hosts like great parties at the office, and I mean, we dance, we do karaoke. I only showed up this year to the after party because that's like the party we're showing up to, right? And yeah, most of the people have left by this time, and then it's like, okay, we're having fun, right? And it's far from me; it's quite a drive. It's like a 2 hour drive now because
Oh wow.
I don't live there. But like I said, if I'm going to go to a party, I'm going to go to a party that like matters.
That you want to be at. Yeah,
A
exactly.
party I want to be at. And it's great because I don't see these people often anymore. So like I walk in and it's like the hug room. They're like, oh, it's all of a sudden it's the hug room because everybody's hugging, and like I miss these people, and like, yeah.
I love
So
it. I love it.
it's great. Yeah. But other than that, no, I don't feel like I want to leave my house. But that's what I was going to say. So I did go to this law event, which was like hosted by the Connecticut Bar Association, and it's like go meet and mingle, and they're celebrating their 50th anniversary or whatever. So I went to that, and I have to say, like, yeah, they're all so dancing. I mean, lawyers are like sloshing around the bar. That's what they do, and they're
Hmm.
whatever. And it's a lot of fun, but first of all, the vegetarian option sucked. I couldn't even eat. I couldn't touch it. So then I'm like, I'm not gonna drink without, I don't have food, and then I have to
Yeah.
drive home. So I'm just sitting there like, ugh. And then the whole everything they were talking about was like DEI everything. Like, let's talk about how we can make the law more DEI. And I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
instant regret, right? I'm like,
And
really? That's what you guys want to talk about? Like,
so
why
funny.
did I show up to this event? I should have known better. And so yeah, I made some connections or whatever. But in the end, I was just like, I can't believe this is what we're talking about tonight. Like, and we're gonna talk about it again. And then we're gonna
Hmm.
continue to talk about it. Like, so
So
yeah,
funny.
now I know not to go to that anymore.
Yeah, so funny. An old business partner of mine used to say that Halloween was his favorite holiday
Hmm.
because it's the one gathering in the entire year that everybody admits they're wearing a mask.
That is
cynical,
so
but it's
true.
true. It's true in a lot of
Yeah,
ways, you know.
that's
So
so true. Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Wow. I used to do Halloween, but I haven't done it in years. I'm like, yeah, another thing that I'm like, okay, are we just gonna go out there and just worship Satan and just like,
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it.
I would yeah, speaking of karaoke though, if you're
Mhm.
ever up in my neck of the woods up in North Georgia, there's this local spot that has karaoke every Thursday
Yeah.
night, and it's a blast. It's really
I'll tell you something
it's
really funny. So I think I mentioned on one of the shows with you that I'm deaf in my left ear. I was born deaf in my left ear. So I am very tone deaf. I cannot sing. Okay. Like it's bad. And so karaoke is not something you would enjoy hearing me do, but I do participate anyway because I don't give a shit.
right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just fun. But so yeah, I'm not like a karaoke person, but I, of course, with my friends, like at these parties, of course I'm gonna do, or weddings or anywhere else I can embarrass
Of
myself
course.
because I enjoy embarrassing myself. Like it's just a part of my personality. But yeah, so it's fun. And also I think I did talk about on the other show, I can't hear like in stereo. I can't hear where sounds come from or stuff like that. It's just a part of the whole thing, which also makes karaoke even more enjoyable. Um,
I love it. So hermit party and karaoke. I guess that's what we're doing.
oh yeah, karaoke, dancers,
I
lots of
love it.
co-promoters.
I love it.
It has to happen. Deanna
Right?
says, sing it loud. Yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
know it.
And then Amy says, well, I love office parties. Love when all the wives of my guys, all 16 who work under me, not like that gutter minds, start the claim game as if they need to save their hubbies from me. That's funny. And then everybody enjoys bad singers more than the good ones. It's true. Because the good ones, it's like an
Right.
ego. They're going up there to stroke their ego, and it's kind of fun,
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
you know.
yeah, whatever.
So,
No, it's just, having a good time. I kind of just completely lost imposter syndrome after law school because I'm like, they just beat you up so much that it's like, okay, now I just don't care. I mean, whatever. Like,
mm,
I had definitely had it going in. I mean, yeah, for sure. But now it's like, you can't do anything to me.
yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Like sometimes getting broken down like that. I don't know if you've heard my story, but like I was, for religious reasons primarily, but I was disowned by my entire family about 8 years ago,
No, I
and
haven't heard that, but I have that same story.
the attacks were so intense on my character, on my person, on my finance, like everything. I alluded a little bit to the finances part earlier when we were talking about attorneys, but
Hmm.
what it taught me is like really nothing can take you down. Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
the what we can actually thrive through, not just survive, is so
Hmm.
far beyond what we initially think, and ultimately
Yeah,
realize it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks, because no matter what you do in life, some people are going to be your biggest fans and other people are going to want to destroy you or take you down or discredit you or whatever. So it's
yeah,
just, so you might as well
yeah,
be authentic to true to who you are.
for sure. So I grew up in a cult too. I went through this on with translucid for like 4 hours, which is going to come out. But I grew up in a cult too, and when I left that cult around age 23, lost my family as well, completely
Mm,
disowned, and been estranged for decades. And it really does, to be able to thrive, like you said, through that kind of loss and disconnection from family, and it really makes you, um I guess, resilient in a
mm-hmm,
way that is like no other. I mean, having to do every single thing by yourself and having zero support, and yeah, of course it sucks, it's the worst thing in the world, but it just makes you really, at the end, like I'll say, flash forward now, like I don't care what anybody thinks, or
mm-hmm.
what they have an opinion about my life or my decisions or my crazy conspiracy theories or whatever they want to call it.
Right.
I don't care. Like, you
Right.
haven't been there, is a
Right.
part of nobody, not one person in my entire life said, congratulations for getting into law school. And now they want to come around and say what their opinion is about what I should do with my career with that, or what you feel about my X account. Like, you really think I care what you think about my X account?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my I care face. Go ahead, take a picture of it.
Yes. How many F's do you
And
think I give?
yeah, and go ahead and post it on
I'm all
your
out of
X
them.
account.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Amy says, Blue, do you mind sharing what kind of cult it was and how you got out?
Sure. This is funny because when I went on Laz's show, I told him, don't say the name, but I'll just go ahead and say it. It was Jehovah's Witness. I was,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. How I got out, oh man. It was so, okay, I will say this. I was really involved in this cult, like to the point where I believed it. I was devoted to it. I was all
Mm-hmm.
in. I married into it. My husband was an elder in it, and we were so high up in it that we were going to go and like train other elders, travel in it, like all the things. I married as a virgin, like all of it. I was
Mm-hmm.
so submissive. I've read the Bible 100 times, like all of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was a good girl. Like, that was me. Okay. I know you
Yeah.
have a shocked face, Jonah. What? You?
No, I'm all in. I'm listening. I love
Okay, I'm telling the truth here,
it.
okay? So, no, I was so devoted, okay? And I even moved out of my parents' house when I was 17 because there was a lot of abuse going on and stuff. I lived by myself and attended a different congregation. I was still all in until I got married.
Mm,
Everything. I was so devoted, okay, to this cult. Um,
mhm,
and yeah, and I got married young. I had just turned 19. And again, so I was he was abusive. Not physically, but verbally very abusive. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't even allowed to check the mail. I wasn't allowed to do nothing. I couldn't talk to my family anymore. It was just
mm,
so bad. And I started questioning what the religion taught about, you know, anti-gay stuff like
mhm,
that. My little sister's gay. So I just, that bothered me a lot, but not just that, but other things that
mhm,
the religion taught, and also just being treated the way I was. I would reach out to the elders in the church, and there was no place for me to go because
mm,
that's their beliefs, is like, men are up here and you're down here, and there's nowhere to go. Nobody could help me. Nobody could save me,
mm,
and they would blame me. Like, somebody tried to rape me, and I told them, and thank goodness it didn't happen, but I got punished for that,
mm,
not him. This is previous to the marriage. So that kind of stuff,
mhm.
everything just
Yeah.
started to really click for me. Like, I have to get out of this. This is not good. Like, finally, I just came to the realization, like, I got to get out. So, um, yeah. And, I went to a friend's house to babysit my best friend who had from childhood moved there, and she had a son who had some issues. Long story short, I went to her house to babysit. He didn't like that. He doesn't like me doing anything he didn't like me to do. I came home and there were chains around my house. He wouldn't let me back in. Hold on, I need some water. I'm talking too much. So that was the real kicker, is like, I can't even get inside my house, and these elders, they just don't have, nobody's gonna help me. So I just move in with her. And then I was like, I gotta divorce this guy. I lost everything in that divorce, of course, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to do anything, right? I just
Mhm,
agreed to everything. So he got everything. And so yeah, I finally just decided to divorce him and also leave the religion finally.
mm,
And yeah, but again, I lost my whole family. They cut me off, and I lost my contact with my little sister. She was about 13 at the time.
mm,
And I didn't see her again until she came out of the closet when she was 17. And finally, I didn't think I was ever going to see her again.
mm.
And she
Yeah.
left religion at 17. But yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell. I do, and thank you for asking, Amy. I go into this in great detail in Translucid whenever Laz drops that. So,
Amy says, "Oh wow, that's almost like Sharia." Huge respect for the strength you had to leave.
oh, thank you.
Yeah. Faray asked if we think all Jehovah's Witnesses are bad. She has family in Jehovah's Witness.
I don't know. I don't think they're bad. I mean, I'm not bad. I fell for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was brainwashed. It's a
Mm-hmm.
legit cult. I think they're wonderful people that are just they genuinely believe, like a lot of people in a lot of cults, they genuinely believe that they're serving God and that they are giving their life to this. And I was out there knocking on doors, trying to convince people that come to God, come to Jehovah. This is the way.
Mm-hmm.
I had 100% authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been saving myself for marriage if I thought this was like I was
Mm-hmm.
doing this out of the goodness of my heart and really
Mm-hmm.
believing all this. Okay. So no, they're not bad at all. I mean, I feel terrible for them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, that
absolutely.
makes a lot of sense. I agree with that 100%. I think so many, because again, what are these? These are like mechanisms of control and
Mm-hmm.
submit people, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and oftentimes it preys on people's good-heartedness. So a lot of times, the most passionate people within these cults are the
Mm-hmm.
ones with the biggest hearts.
Right.
You know, the
Mm-hmm. But I
oftentimes
will,
even more so than
yeah,
people who are off trailblazing doing their own thing forever and just
right.
don't care about anything deeper in life and are just always at the bars or whatever else.
Right. I'll say that that whole experience, though, has really contributed to now me knowing a psyop within a second. I cannot be
Mm-hmm.
controlled again. You can't
Mm-hmm.
get my brain again. So
Mm-hmm.
I it's just like I can smell them before they even roll out. And if I wouldn't have gone through that experience, who knows if I would have been this awake at this point, right?
Well, and see, that's the beautiful thing about how God actually orders all things in our life for our good, because whatever rough patch we go through, it's like my favorite analogy is in an orchestral piece. The conductor brings in the piece that there's a dissonant chord, and when that resolution chord comes afterwards, it's more beautiful than it would have been if there was no dissonant chord. So I think that's the best way
Yeah.
to understand the pain and suffering in our lives.
Mhm.
Is just allowed in order to make our lives and our own persons more beautiful.
Mhm.
um,
A couple comments from Amy I wanted to address. I'm
yeah.
trying to see them. Um,
Let's see. Amy says, wait, but wouldn't they classify as a sect? What's the difference? I wonder. I forgot.
oh, well, I call them a cult because that's how I feel about them. Yes, they believe they don't call themselves part of like
Mm-hmm.
the Christianity that other people identify them with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's how they would identify themselves. I identify them as a cult because I know I was in a cult now.
Well, and a cult. So sometimes a cult can be a sect as well, right?
Hmm. Right.
But the for me, like the way like sect is like a section or like the sector. It's
Hmm.
like they see themselves as part of some kind of a bigger body. They're like one piece of
Yeah.
like overall Christianity, for example. Jehovah's
Right.
Witness, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, don't believe that at all. I think that you just said that. Um, but in fact, I think in their roots, they're actually, I won't say the real name, just the code, the Stonecutters. They're founded by the Stonecutters originally, I believe. But I don't know. You
I
don't
think
believe
you
that?
might be right about that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are, I mean, there's like 1,400 religions out there, and I think probably
Yeah.
most of them are founded by the stonecutters. But,
Yeah.
also, Amy, you asked, they ever knocked on my door later? Oh, yes, and that is a good time for me. That is good times for me.
Come on in.
Bring it on. It's Halloween.
You've come to the wrong hermit's house.
Come inside. It's a beautiful day inside. Sit
I love it.
down. Please teach me something.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing too, is like once you've wrestled with a lie and you've seen through it, it's not a threat
Mhm.
anymore. And
Yeah.
like the truth fears no investigation. So it's like there's
Right.
no, like when people get like really aggressive if you challenge their beliefs, you know,
Yeah.
it just shows you that they don't actually understand or truly believe. There's cognitive dissonance there. They don't truly
Yes.
believe what they're holding on to for dear life, white knuckled, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Laz
Yeah.
finally joined. Hello,
There we go.
Laz. Hello,
It's about
Laz.
time,
It's about
sir.
time, Laz. Where have you been? You've been out there just like picking on women all day and you finally decided to show up.
We've only name dropped you like 4 or 5 times so far,
I
so
know. It's like, we were nice though. We were nice.
we were. Your ear must have been itching or something. You must have heard us talking about you.
Practice. I love it. He's practicing for tomorrow night, right? He's like,
There you go.
I'm gonna beat Jen up tomorrow. I gotta get it in.
Rehearsal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's. I mean, it's. I appreciate you sharing that, especially about like the division in your family. Like for a
Mhm.
while there, I wasn't sure if I
Oh,
was gonna see my family.
where do I stand now religion wise? Okay, great question. Okay, I am spiritual. Yes, no religion. I'm actually okay. I believe in a prime creator. I believe we are all kind of a part of a prime creator. That's what I believe.
Hmm.
So kind of different from God. I don't like I wouldn't say that I believe in God the way other people believe in God. So yeah, I believe in like part of prime creator. So
So
that kind of
you.
ties into what I was saying earlier about hero worship, which is very
Hmm.
different from what a lot of people believe. But yeah, I that's what I
Yeah.
believe.
Would you say that aversion to the use of the word God, because even the ancient Greeks used like referred to the prime creator as God. Would you say that that's the primary reason for your aversion to that title is because of all of the religious mechanisms of control built around that particular word in our culture?
The reason I use that word, that phrasing, is actually because of information I ran into on X. So I
Okay.
found an account. It's Dr. Shock, SCHOCK, and I don't know his handle right now. I'm just gonna go searching for him. He's dropped some just phenomenal information. And when I ran into him, he's actually my favorite follow on here.
Nice.
He's got I could read his stuff like all day long. Like it's incredible. Um but when I ran into his account, I actually ran into that term and I ran into what kind of bumped up my spiritual knowledge and I would say kind of bumped me up from God to understanding that there was like something beyond that and what that meant and it's really deep stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's where I got that term.
Yeah, you'll have to. If you would, I'd love if you'd share that account. I'd be very
Yeah, of course.
interested.
Yeah, absolutely. I will actually I guess I can't put it in I don't know if I can comment in here. I don't know how to do that.
You could also,
But
you know, what you can also do is after the
yeah,
just
after the stream
just
I'll drop
comment
the
comment on the post
yes,
and
yes.
yeah, yeah.
He's amazing. This guy is like basically he also says that he isn't has spent time with the keeper of this realm. Okay? Like in person time with the keeper of this realm. And yeah, he's just out there helping people.
Hmm.
That's what he's doing. He's just out there to help you
Very
understand
cool.
a lot of really cool knowledge. Yeah, you'll like
Very
him a
cool.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like it. Yeah, I love pondering some of these more
Mhm.
lofty truths. So
Yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff. But he's also heliocentric. Um and he's also vegan. I just found out recently, which is really cool. And I'm like, "You are? I like you even more."
that's funny.
Yeah, it's like all the reasons I like this guy. I just got boosted even more. Yeah,
I
he's a
love
great guy.
it. I love
Hmm.
it. Yeah, no, it's interesting how okay, so here's a question I have for you. From my own experience. One of the most challenging things for me in my separation from the family and the religious tension and all this other stuff was finding a place in my heart to forgive them and realizing that I'm still working on one of them, if I'm being honest. One of them I'm still having a hard time forgiving
Yeah,
because they were particularly instrumental in the aggressive attack on my character and everything else.
yeah,
But I found that that was the most challenging, but the most essential was working on kind of keeping
Hmm.
my heart clean of resentment and bitterness, because otherwise that would have just destroyed me, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a great topic because I I went through such a hard time living within like a 40-minute drive of my mother and
Mm,
having to um raise my kids without any help from her,
hmm
and when I needed it so desperately because I was having my babies while I was going to college,
hmm
and she was totally free and not working and able to help, but I wasn't able to get any help from her. Not that I'm saying you have to help your kids, but it would have meant so much to have
hmm
some help. And so I carried my son around campus with me and would, I did what I had to do, and
Right.
he attended my classes with me. I was breastfeeding him in the trailer of my I I talked about this last already, but I was the editor in chief of my paper, and we were in a
Mm.
trailer. So let me say that because I kind of, and I'm breastfeeding him in this trailer, documenting like articles and like stuff like this at
Yeah.
school, and like I did what I had to do, like I didn't have the help, and I also got jobs that wouldn't allow me to bring them, so I had to get jobs that would allow me to bring them.
hmm
That's just what I had to do. I got
Yeah.
the dream job of my life, which was um, editing as a book editor, and
Cool.
I had to put him in daycare, and he couldn't make it. He was screaming, and he just they were like, you can't leave him here. So I had to quit that job. So,
Oh,
and that's what I'm saying. So those are the kinds of things that like I think about. I wish she would have just helped. It could
yeah.
have been a life changer for me just to have help, you know,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
them. So yeah, I had some bitterness, I had some anger, I was so frustrated. Um, and all that time, oh, and then when she would visit the kids later on, it's like she would come to the house, but I would have to leave the house. Like she would pick them up when I wasn't there
Mm.
because I was still going to let her see them.
hmm
I wanted them to
Yeah.
have or like, so she would see the kids and drop them off before I got home or whatever, just silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Huh.
but yeah, I for a long time, years, I was like, I can't believe this. Like I'm so angry at her, but I still wanted a relationship with her. I begged to have a relationship with her, and it was always a no. It was always a no.
hmm
And yeah, it was very challenging. And I finally got to the point about forgiveness.
hmm
I finally got to the point where I I did do therapy for a long time. It didn't help.
hmm
But I finally just through learning, I guess watching videos online, and I read a book called Forgiveness is for Good, which kind of taught me a lot about what real forgiveness is. I finally learned that forgiveness is about me and not
Yeah.
about them. And that I just needed to put these people in my rearview mirror and stop carrying that pain with me. It was only serving me harm to carry that.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite one of my favorite lines from the Psalms is, it resonates so much with me for this particular thing. It's my wounds are foul and festering, the result of my own folly. But if you think about it, the wounds themselves, because it's the word is wound, that implies that there somebody else gave you that wound. But if it's foul and festering, then I'm not cleaning it, I'm not taking care of it, I'm not nursing the wound.
Right.
And that's on me. So it's like I can't
Yes.
decide which wounds I'm going to get in this life, but I can decide how
Right.
I handle them. That for me has been such a
Absolutely.
healing meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it really is like it's such a heavy backpack to carry around, I don't know what
Yeah.
Dead Game said.
A family support structure, Dead Game. What's up, Dead Game? Family support structure is crucial in the development of a child's mindset. You lead by example. It's so true.
Oh, yeah, that's really true.
Yes,
And
Farai, I'll take the coffee. Just a spot of cream, no sugar, please. Thank you.
And that is true. And talking about leading by example, I came to a point in my life where I realized that I wanted to lead a better example to my children of not carrying around bitterness, anger, you know, that wouldn't be a good example to them. And flash forward to now, that is something that my children unfortunately received an example of a whole lot of cancel culture, right?
Hmm.
Because of the way that this cult operates, because of the way that, you know, the weird setup in my family where, we have to go with grandma here, but you're not a part of this and all this stuff and seeing all these people not talking to each other. And now, this is all playing out in real time with my account, and all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is my stance to my children and to everybody is I'm trying to lead by example of not participating in cancel culture at all. So
Yeah.
I'm saying to everyone in my family that I will talk to any of you. I'm not canceling any of you. This is
Hmm.
my example now. If you
Hmm.
want to talk to me, you are welcome to talk to me. No matter what you did to me, no matter how much you hurt me, I'm here for you. And I want to
Well,
be that
and
kind of example. Hmm.
no, that's great. And I think one of the things that's really important though too is like there's a difference between forgiveness and allowing the door to be open, but
Hmm.
then trusting them and being vulnerable with them when they've proven that it's
Yes,
worthy of
yes.
that trust, right?
Yeah,
That's a
for sure.
distinction that, especially because I like you seem similar, but like I have a tendency to just kind of forgive and forget. Like once I've forgiven, I'm ready. I'll move on, So like,
Hmm.
but that's a very codependent and leaning behavior, you
Hmm.
know. So
Well, there's no forgetting because here's the way I look at it, okay? Because I told you I grew up in domestic violence, right? Severe
mhm,
domestic violence. And I've also opened the door to talk to those that person as well. Um, it's you can't forget and you can't forgive something that's unforgivable.
yeah,
That's impossible. I look at it like that's their karma or that's their relationship with their God, however you want to phrase it. Like it's none of my business, all that terrible shit you did to me. Like I'm not taking it on. I'm not carrying it
hmm,
around. You need to go talk to God about it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you need to go deal with the trauma that you did to somebody else, which happened to be me. And I've talked to people who have harmed me about this directly and said,
hmm,
I'm not carrying your burdens. So
hmm,
it has nothing to do with me. I've let it go, but you still carry it. I'm not carrying it for you. And
yeah.
yes, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, no. Amy said her favorite line from a song: "Don't try to fix me, I'm not broken."
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's great.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
it. And so that's how I kind of quote unquote got over it when I'm not over it. But I mean, yeah, it's too much to carry. I went through too much in my life to carry, all of this weight. And so I just don't.
Yeah. 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 That's so funny. Every time I hear someone say karma's a bitch, I'm always I'm always like, well, or she's a sweetheart. Right? Like,
That's a
I mean,
really
you're
good.
telling me a lot
Yeah.
about yourself if you think
Mhm.
she's
Mm. But I have seen karma come around in real time. And I say that because these people in my life who have harmed me, I've seen it come back to them tenfold. I've seen them hurt and suffer.
Yeah, so I have a story to share. This is
Go
such a
ahead. Yeah.
this is such a joyful thing. So this whole
you look
time,
you look like you're really happy about this. I can
this
see it in
whole
your
oh
face.
man, and I'll tell you. So I just actually reconnected with my parents a couple
Okay.
weeks ago.
Hmm.
It was the first time I'd seen them in 8 years,
Okay.
and so it was there were some difficult moments, obviously, but it was very healing overall. I'll get back to that in a second, but because
Hmm.
I want to share with you a conversation I had with my dad
Okay.
towards the end of their visit. But this whole time, like my ex was divorcing me,
Okay.
She accused me in order to justify it to this Catholic community that I had cheated on her, that all this other stuff, right? Just made up
Okay.
like that I was an aggressive alcoholic, never hit a woman in my life, right? But
Yeah.
anyways, so so she all these lies, and there was this one guy who was in our church community. He was aggressively going to everybody I knew along with my sister and telling them all these things about me. And in my heart, I just heard again and again and again,
Mhm.
vengeance is mine, says the Lord, from scripture, right? I'm like, all right, Lord, I'm putting it in your hands. You take care of it.
Yeah.
So fast forward, this is now 3, 4 years ago. So 4, 5 years after it happened, I
Hmm.
find out that this guy, call him David, that wasn't his name, but call him
Okay.
David. I find out that David, who was a choir director at about a half a dozen parishes in the Catholic community in the city I lived.
Okay.
See, I'm trying not to dox anyone. I really am.
Success.
um, success, great success. so, um, so he had young adult choirs and middle
Hmm.
school choirs that he
Okay.
taught, and he was very well respected in the community.
Hmm.
Very talented musically. Um, I guess he had a couple text message exchange with one of the middle school girls that the dad
Okay.
saw and was like, "Oh no." I guess it was
Oh,
something like "thinking of you, missing you, can't wait to see you tomorrow" or something like that, which was choir
oh
practice.
no.
But it was 11:30 at night. Okay, so totally inappropriate.
Right.
Allegedly, I
Right.
heard this secondhand. I don't know if it's true, but allegedly.
Okay. Fine.
But the result of whatever happened, whether it was a misunderstanding or if he was actually guilty, I almost hope it was a misunderstanding, frankly,
Yeah. Of
because
course.
it was a lie that was spread about me. But anyway, so this dad went on a war path. He went to
Wow.
every single parish that this man was employed at and got him fired from every single job that he had,
Oh my goodness.
which is something very similar that happened to me. All these lies. I
Right.
lost my friends, my family. I lost my job. I
Wow.
lost everything because of these lies.
Hmm.
And I just, when I heard that, I was filled with so much joy.
You were filled with glee.
It was pure unadulterated joy. And the
Yeah.
reason is because the like, if I had slandered him back, if I had stood up for
Yeah.
my own reputation, defended myself, if I had tried whatever, right?
Right.
um it wouldn't have been, wouldn't have been effective, but it would have been me taking
Right.
vengeance in my own hand. Since I just let it in the hands of the creator,
Uh-huh.
he arranged things such that this man had done to him almost exactly what was done to me, a parallel
Yeah.
of it,
Hmm.
which not only humbled him and brought him to his knees and allowed him to feel karmically, you could argue, the same
Right.
pain that he gave to me, but it was
Right.
also an opportunity for him to humble his heart and repent in his heart and realize his wrong towards
Yeah.
me. So it was at once a chance for his own personal redemption as well
Yeah.
as justice, right? And it was just so
Yes.
perfect. And so I'm
Right.
talking to my dad a couple weeks ago, and he's like, you really need to forgive your sister, especially, or whatever. And I was like, oh, like I'm like I don't have any plans of aggressing again. I am
Yeah.
totally fine. Like, and I'm like, I know. And I told him the story about this. Call him Dave again.
Uh-huh.
This Dave, and I was like, Dad, I know one thing. All of you, my sister especially, but all of you, vengeance is our Lord's, and he's going to get all of you. He's going to show all of you what you did to me and how wrong it was. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for that to happen, and I'm here for it.
Right. Right.
he was
Right.
like, he
Yeah.
was
Oh
like,
yeah.
whoa. He was like, whoa. It was kind of funny. I'm like, no anger. I mean, no malice here. I just can't wait to
Right.
see it.
Oh, I heard this quote. Actually, I was going to post it, but I didn't have time. I'm trying to remember what it said, but it says something about people will people will never forgive you for what they did to you,
Mm,
or something like that. Like they have this hard time forgiving you for what they did to you. And I was like, wow, that's just so true. Like they
mm,
they're mad at you for what they did to you, and it just really hit me. That's so true. Like they do these things to you, and they're mad at you because they did it to you. And I just couldn't help but to think about my family. Like I know on some level they don't talk to me because they hurt me, and they wrestle with that feeling of hurting me
Mm-hmm.
by canceling me for something so retarded as having this X account. And oh, I posting my feelings. I'm so sorry that hurts your feelings. I'm not talking about you at all, ever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
outside of
Ever.
this podcast, I mean, now I am, but I mean, I've never have before, ever. And but they're just so butthurt about my content, and they cancel me. And these are people who were also canceled out of that cult. They got
Mm.
canceled when they left the cult. They know how much that hurts,
Mm-hmm.
and yet they're doing that behavior to me. And I'm sure that that hurts them. That hurts them
Yeah.
knowing that they're doing it again to me. And so they can't
Yeah.
talk to me because they know they owe me the biggest apology in the world.
Yeah. And running from that recognition, yeah, that not self-awareness. So it's funny. It's not funny at all, but it's an interesting coincidence. But I mean, it's interesting. I think in addition to just like hating or not forgiving themselves or not being willing to look honestly at themselves,
Right.
um, I know one of the men in this story of mine that we've been talking about here. He had been unfaithful with his wife,
Okay.
and man to man, one on one, I had pulled him aside. He and I were very close, and I said, you got to respect your wife. You got to stop it. Like, what are you doing, man? You know, like, what example are you setting for your kids, for the rest of the community? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, man? You know, it wasn't like aggressive, like condemning. It was like, come on, wake up and realize what you're doing and the negative consequences it's having. And he just persisted, ended up losing his job over it and whatever else. Like, it was really a
Right.
bad thing for him. That was like 5 years earlier. And then I just knew in my gut when he was one of the ones that came out strongest against me for the rumor or the
Hmm.
lie that I had been unfaithful to my wife, which was not true. But
Right.
like, that was his opportunity to the hatred that he had for himself that I had shined a light on. That was his opportunity to pour that hatred that he had for himself me. So oftentimes I think there's projection going on there too, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
It's interesting. Dead Game says open communication is key. Can't talk, can't resolve anything. So you're great in leaving that door cracked. That's for you. What you were sharing about, like always having the door open with
Yeah.
family and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, Dead Game says done at that point. Yeah, sometimes it's just yeah, but oh, Feray's back with coffee for us all. Thank you,
Oh,
Foray.
thank you. Yay.
Bickies, is that an Australian term for coffee? Bickies or glass? What is that? So yeah.
Nice.
No, it's fantastically challenging though, isn't it? These
Hmm.
interpersonal dynamics and how it fits into our own journeys of self growth, of like personal growth and development.
It is challenging. And when these people threaten me now and say, I'm not going to talk to you if you this, that, I'm like, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, don't talk to me then. Like I need more complications in my life. I mean, I really just don't, you know, and
Yeah.
that's why I feel like the most offensive part of that is if you don't appreciate what I can bring to your life, if you don't value what I can bring to your life, that's so very telling to me, right?
And if you want to cut me off, that's a manipulation tactic. You're
Of
expecting me to
course, yeah,
change a
like
behavior somehow. Otherwise, you're not going to, okay, then bye.
right. Yeah, like
My
it's
mama.
it's also like, well, they're telling me I am so special that you aren't going to have a relationship with me anymore. And
Yeah.
fine, I do think you're special. Of course, I want a relationship with you, but you're also telling me that I have zero value in this relationship.
Hmm.
Like it's all about you, and you think I'm just the gum on the bottom of your shoe, and I bring nothing to the table. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just this crazy conspiracy theorist that is just like you'll put up with me. Right.
Yeah, no, thanks. Spare me
Yeah.
you're putting up with, you know.
Right. Like, okay.
um, my
Yeah.
mom always used to say growing up, actually, she always used to say, "What you think of me is none of my business." I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
Right. Right.
Dead Game says infidelity is a game ender. In fact, Dead Game, I've actually I've refused to do business with anyone who I know has cheated on their wife,
Mhm.
because if they'll do that to the person that they vowed at the altar to, you bet your bottom dollar that they're willing to stick it to you. So
Mhm.
I never did. It's not even worth friendship with some people like that sometimes. So, um, oh, biscuits. I see. Bickies are biscuits.
Biscuits. Interesting.
That's good.
Ah, okay.
I appreciate you, Dead Game. I try. I don't know how good of a man I am, but I'd certainly try.
All right.
See, this is this
I
Shiva
trust
that
that one.
I love your brother, but I gotta push back a little bit here,
Yeah.
because we have to avoid the black pill of like isolate, like trusting. No, okay, like there's has to be a balance, otherwise we lose. Because trust, in order to truly love someone, there has
Keep
to be a
talking. I'm just getting water.
no, you're fine. Um, there has to be a vulnerability and open. You have to open. There is no love without any vulnerability, but in order to be vulnerable, you have to trust. So maybe you didn't mean that as categorically definitive as it seemed. I'd love to hear a clarification from you, but I would just, if you did mean what the words say there, trust no one. I would just caution you to reconsider that, or ask you to reconsider. In fact, I know I've said it before, but I'd love to have you on the podcast at some point. We should do a deep dive together. Um, but because I think it's important to, again, love brings so much value to that human relationships. But again, you can't have true love without opening your heart and being vulnerable, which takes trust. So, Shiva, I don't know the pill colors. One can't trust someone they don't know. If most don't know themselves, how can you know them?
Sorry about that obnoxiously large. I have a loud water. I have a gallon of water, and I was pouring it. And I was like, "This is really loud." Anyway,
Yeah. So.
so yeah, about the trust thing. I kind of have to push back a little bit on that too, because I guess I have this problem probably about over trusting. Like, I give you my trust first, and then it's yours to lose it. That's my default mechanism. I
Hmm.
still go into it knowing that, like, yeah, I'm not gonna overshare or whatever, but yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna trust you, right?
Hmm.
It, but I am really good at picking up on people, as you're aware. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that, yeah. So
All
yeah,
the nonverbal communication stuff.
yeah. But
I
yeah, I'm gonna trust you. I'm not gonna just say, no, I'm not gonna trust you,
Yeah. Well, so it's funny. This idea of trust. So I had heard this phrase initially in another context. I'll give you the context I originally heard it, but I think it's applicable here in a different sense. But they said pessimists sound the smartest, but optimists make all the money. And he was talking in a business sense, right?
Right,
And there's a lot to that, I think, in relationships too, where a pessimist may sound like they're the most prudent or the smartest or the most whatever, but optimists who count on human goodness until proven otherwise, at least are open to that, unless they're shown something else.
right.
Their default is just trying to connect and be there for others, and I think there's a lot more richness, and quality of life and relationship in those contexts. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. She said he doesn't know the pill colors. So, this whole thing with the pill colors, like, I people are like all like anti of the black pillars. I consider myself a black pillar, so I think there's just confusion about what the pillars are. Okay, so yeah, it goes back to the Matrix thing, like, the red pill and the blue pill. And somebody the other day told me, like, no, the red pillar is the right or the Republicans and the blue pills, the Democrats, and I was like, no, no, it's the Matrix. I think there's just so much confusion about what the pills are, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I guess by black pill, I think the way that I used it, I don't know how it's used in
yeah,
general, but the way that I meant it is like a jaded kind of hopeless approach towards human
hmm
relationship or towards our situation in life, right? Whereas I
hmm
think there's so much good and beauty to be had and to be experienced, you know?
right. And see, I guess when I think of the black pillar, which I say I'm a black pillar, I have to say that when I think of it, is I think of it as like I'm not taking either pill because I think everything's a psyop.
I see.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was, but
It's the
that's why I
third
say I think.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, people throw them around, and I think that's why I don't even like say that. I don't post that I'm a
Yeah.
black pillar because there's so much miscommunication about what the pills are. But that's probably good, like, Shiva, that you say you don't know what the pills are because I don't really know
Yeah.
what somebody thinks when they say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but too
Well,
many
it's fun.
pills in here.
It's fun. Yeah, I know. White pill, black pill,
I,
whatever.
don't know.
Um,
Don't take the
no,
pills.
yeah, just haven't we gotten over this whole big pharma thing, anyways? Aren't you guys awake for
Yeah,
that? Come
stop
on,
with the
what's with the
pills,
pills?
people.
We are anti-pill popping here.
Yeah, exactly. No pills.
Amy says, "Would you agree that one can't love those who don't love themselves? How important is self-love?"
Oh,
That's
I
a great
love this
question.
question.
That's a great question.
I mean, you can love a person who doesn't love themselves. I think we have done that, and that always fails, right? Like it doesn't go well. But I love the question about self-love, because I didn't for so long. I did not love myself for so. Of course, when you grow up in a situation like I grew up in, you're not allowed to love yourself. Like,
Mm,
you hate yourself, right? Like, you're told that you're nothing. And then I end up in other relationships where I didn't love myself. And I'm an empath, and I'm always, loving the person and putting them first. And just, yeah, there was no self-love. And I love unconditionally when I love. So
hmm
that's it. And so this is like only something I really started learning recently, is first of all how to love myself. Okay, get through that first. Like, yeah, finally. Oh wow, I love myself. Oh, shocker. But like, only recently I had this kind of epiphany about self-love. And oh, thanks, Shiva. Um yeah, this epiphany about self-love, that I'm allowed to unconditionally self have self-love, unconditionally love myself.
hmm
And that is a work in progress, not only because I just recently, like, was aware of this, but also it's so hard to do, right? It's so easy to do for somebody else, but it's so hard to love myself unconditionally, because I'm always going to say something's wrong with me, right? I'm going to say,
Uh-huh.
no, you need to lose weight, like, I love you, but you need to do this. I love you, but I don't like this thing about you. Like,
hmm
be more productive, or why don't you do this? Right? Like, if you could only be this. And it's so hard not to do that with yourself.
hmm
But I don't do it with other people. With other people, I love them just the way they are, because that's my default. Is like, I don't put conditions on other people.
Yeah. So okay. So it's interesting because yeah, it's important. Like when to truly love somebody, you need to see and you need to embrace the whole person, strengths
Yes.
and weaknesses, right?
Uh-huh.
And there is an element of that within us because, like, I don't know if you've read, I forget the name of the book, but it's called People That Lie. I might have mentioned it on our narcissist conversation with on the dualistic a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
but where like anyway, this guy talks about like how this psychologist talked about how like he calls them a person of the lie when they, because
Mhm.
eventually someone, we're faced with the reality of our own brokenness, and
Yeah.
the human response is one of two things: we either lie to ourselves and reinvent ourselves and deny and refuse to admit the brokenness and are just like, no, all of those things that I did that were mistakes, that were the wrong choice, those were actually, I was trying to do the right thing. I'm actually a really, really good person. I don't have any, I'm not broken. It was just a
Yeah.
bad situation. I didn't know. Right. And so then they like
Right.
redefine reality, protecting themselves from the realization and acknowledgement that they are broken in some ways.
Yeah.
That's one extreme. And the other extreme is, yeah, I love my flaws just as much as I love everything else, right? So it's
Right.
like those two extremes, and like what you were saying earlier, the third way, like that middle of the road, like not choosing either, just not playing the game, I
Yeah.
think is here too, because it's like the way that I see it, anyways, is I love myself with all my flaws, but I
Hmm.
love myself too much to not try to be better and to just accept those flaws as
Yeah.
as an
That's true.
unchangeable element within me that belong. No, like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know, so
you want to grow all the time, right? You always want to be
yeah.
better. So yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. It's like I love myself enough to fix what you don't want to say it's broken, but you want to just improve,
Mm-hmm.
improve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Because you're I want to say this, like you are given you, right? You are given you as
Mm-hmm.
like your person, right? Like when you have kids, so like when you're given a child, you love that child so unconditionally,
Mm.
right? That's your person, that's your assignment. It's like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
this is so amazing, right? Like I will never not do anything for this child. But you are also given you, like nobody else is gonna love you the way
Mm-hmm.
that you can love you. And
Mm-hmm.
for you, somebody like you and me know this as being disowned and abandoned, not wanted, and how that feels. And it's like, well, then who's going to love me now? And after years and years, I finally figured out I've got to love me. I was
Mm-hmm.
relying on men to do it, failed.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag failed. So now I finally figured out, oh, I have to love me, right? And this is why I finally like came to really enjoy hermit life because I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I
Mm-hmm.
love me.
Mm-hmm.
I love me. It's good. I'm good. Right. And it doesn't
Yeah.
mean I don't want a man to love me. Of course I do. But I mean, that's
Right.
bonus now at this point. Right. Because I
Right.
already love myself.
Right.
And so whoever I give myself to is like, I'm good with me. I'm a whole person and I love myself.
Yeah. So there's a beautiful. Okay. So obviously, you know that I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
Um, and so I
Really?
know that the first part of this, right?
Just kidding.
So, isn't that obvious? So, um,
you
the
you smell Catholic at this point. It's just like coming through this room.
so so I know the first part of this analogy isn't going to resonate, but stick with me because I
Okay.
think you'll
Mhm.
appreciate it. So obviously,
Okay.
you're aware that Catholics believe that God is present in the Eucharist on the altar, right? So
That he's
that's
what?
a
I'm sorry.
that
That
he's
what?
present. He's truly present. He's there in the Eucharist on the altar, the communion bread, right?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so Catholics believe that he's
Okay.
truly present on the altar. Okay,
Okay.
um, so we also believe though that God is dwelling in us, in our
Okay.
neighbor. So it's relatively easy to believe that God is over there in that thing.
Hmm.
It's a lot harder to believe that God is in this person next to me who might smell
Mm.
funny, who's abrasive, who's rude sometimes, or who's irresponsible, or
Right.
whatever, right? A litany
Okay.
of possible, right? So
Yeah.
that's more challenging to see God in the person next to you
Yes.
and love them and love him in them. But the
Mm.
hardest of all is to look in your own heart and see God is within
Mm.
and honor and love and respect him within in the same
Right.
way. So it's like that. It's even more difficult the closer to home it
No,
gets, if that makes
that's
sense.
really profound. That makes a lot of sense. And I will say that from my perspective and my beliefs, which I already shared with you about friend creator and like,
Hmm.
we're all collaborative. I will apply it to that and I will say that I had the same kind of come to Jesus, if you will, moment about that of like believing that I have this kind of collaborative experience with the creator and kind of not beating myself up and saying, well, why would you do that to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
If you believe that you're a part of this and you believe you have this power, like you can't put negativity into that collaborative oneness. It's not
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's not cool to do that to everyone else out there. It's not cool to do it to yourself, And so
Mm.
I have to just not do it. I have to work hard to not do it because I feel like collectively it's bad, right? It's really bad for me. And also,
Yeah.
I have to not be around, or I have to not allow myself to be around any toxic energy people, which is also why I hermit, because anything toxic that I'm around, I feel like I owe it to
Mm.
myself and the collective oneness to not bring any bad into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I like that the way you said collaboration with with the creator. That's really beautiful. Yeah.
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 We
I
get
like that.
did wood and hell say? Oh, and wine and bread. Oh,
Yeah. And he said, I decided at one point not to depend on someone else to make me feel worthy or happy.
that's
That's
awesome.
exactly it. Yeah. No, that's so important.
That's so
That's so
important.
important.
Yeah.
And Amy, you remember it, and we were talking just the other morning about because Amy keeps me company on the cup of Joan in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um,
That's great.
yeah, and but the the truth that we were reflecting on was about God, just God, creator, being so involved with his creation and how like his attention. So he's like even so presenting from a religion, right? Even Aristotle said that he has infinite awareness and attention, and so his love and full attention is on you, as if you're the only child that he has on this. You know what I'm saying? As if you're the
Right.
only all of creation is right there in you. Like that's his love and attention to each
Mm-hmm.
and every single one of us in the same way. It's
Mm-hmm.
really beautiful, and that was Aristotle. There was no religious book telling him that, right? It was just it's really beautiful. So it's yeah, it's a wonderful yeah.
Well, I think it really is about when it boils down to, being around love, right? And this is
Mm-hmm.
like aside from religion and everything, all of it,
Mm-hmm.
God, everything. Just, and that was a part of my personal journey and why I hermit. Um, just, and why I don't like working for other people because I just don't, I can't be in like these toxic situations, I'm
Mm-hmm.
super sensitive to it. I've mentioned that, a lot. I talk about it a lot. I'm very perceptive and clairvoyant, and I can't be around negativity at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is also why I don't have a TV. I don't like these. I just can't pick up any kind of low frequency vibes that affects me a lot,
Yeah.
you know. Um, and I think that's that's what's kept me from really being in a relationship, you know. And I
Yeah.
I just need to be around love. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned you've said it a couple times now in our conversation, but about being very empathic.
Hmm.
And it's kind of funny. I had a dear friend when I lived overseas. She was very, very empathic. And um, she kind of explained to me that a lot of times, because women tend to be more empathic and
Hmm.
have like that sixth sense, you could call it, right? And she said that's
Yes.
actually why a lot of women will, who are very empathic, will get into a career like body language reading, because
Hmm.
oftentimes what they're feeling is the energy, or they're feeling something beyond, but then they
Hmm.
use facial expressions and other little things to try to tell people and help people see understand what they're feeling, but it's
Yes.
almost like an excuse to talk about what they feel without, because sometimes people are weirded out like, wait, what do you mean you feel, what do like it's hard to, you don't
Yeah.
necessarily want to talk like that about with a lot of people. I don't
Right. Right.
know, does
Right.
that resonate any not to put you on the spot, but
I mean,
uh,
no. I mean, it's fine. Well, I agree. First of all, yes, women are more empathic.
Hmm.
They have that more instinctually than men. But I don't know that they would go into a career of it. I've never heard that before. I don't know.
Well,
That
and
just, oh my God.
yeah, and she was saying, like, for example, a lot of times in the past, women have resorted to like tarot card reading and things like that because that was a way for
Mm,
them to try to help people around them. I
I could believe that.
I don't know, but it's just interesting to me. There was kind of a you're like oh, I just made that connection that maybe that's part of why you really love
Right.
that field is because
I
there's an
mean, this,
avenue maybe.
well, yeah, I mean, I would say that it definitely helps. Of course, it helps me,
Hmm.
in this, but I've done, I mentioned to you that I have a certificate in dispute resolution theory and
Hmm.
practice. So I studied this in law school, and that helped me, in studying, theories and resolution theory, and other many classes that I took in law school helped with that. But even prior to that, I studied interpersonal communication, and I took a class in that too. And I did a lot of personal in-depth study and just watching podcasts on it. I mean, I'm really into it. I just
Hmm.
like it. I've been into this for years, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that I'm just into. That's all. Like,
Ha-
so it's not just like that this is something personally that like I know how to do really well, right?
right.
This
Right.
is this is something that I've had a passion for years, and that's way before law school, right? So,
Yeah, I think I think on one of our other conversations, I had mentioned handwriting analysis because I fully expected you to
oh
be into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Because that for me has been like a little hobby that I got into because I love, and
okay.
it's amazing how much you can tell about somebody. It's amazing.
It's
It's
interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
no, it is interesting.
that's
Some
really
maybe another thing I should look into.
yeah. No, it's so funny. My this is like when I was studying it, like really interested and intrigued in it, like probably like 15 minutes ago. I mean,
Hmm.
15 years ago, I mean. Um, and I remember my mom was handwriting a letter to a parish priest that she was helping with a fundraiser, and she was mentioned somebody else. And I was like, "Can I see that? Do you mind?" And she's like, "Sure, go
Yeah.
ahead." So I read it, and I was like, "What about this woman, Lisa? Do you
Hmm.
dislike so strongly?" And she's like, "Oh my goodness, what did I say?" And I'm like, "No, you didn't say anything. It was written in your handwriting." And she's like, "Oh goodness." I guess there was a lot of tension. I had no idea who this woman was, but it's amazing how much can come through in the handwriting. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you would
Wow.
love it. You would love it.
I wonder, I'm curious if that has anything to do with why they don't want handwriting to be cursive to be taught in schools anymore, and they're
Mm,
not teaching it.
mm.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons they're not, but I wonder if that's also a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a shame that they're doing that,
Yeah.
taking that out of education.
No, it was so funny when it got out in my friend group. Like, again, this is like 12, 15 years ago, but when it got out in my group of friends that I had that I had been studying this stuff and knew it pretty well,
Yeah.
um, they'd be like, "Oh, here, read my handwriting," and like, and so there's this one time he was a seminarian actually. I won't tell you where, but he's like, "How about mine?" I was like, "Oh, well, it says you're very intelligent, very not very social, like not inclined to social thing, like social
Yeah.
interactions as much, but very intelligent." And I handed it back to him, and he's like, "No, there's more. Can you tell me more? I know there's more. I've heard you talk about other people." And I was like,
That's
I was
funny.
like, so he insisted after a little while. I was like, "I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later." He cornered me by like just the two of us
Oh,
at
okay.
one point, and I was like, "You got a lot of sexual repression, man." That's what I'm like. I wasn't gonna tell you. I don't know if it's something I
Oh
went
my
through as a
goodness.
kid or whatever. I was like, and he's like, "No, no, 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 no."
Oh
He went
wow.
away and he came back a week later and he was like tearing up and he's like, "I've been praying. Like you're right. Like I." It was anyways. It's kind
Wow.
of it's just amazing how much comes through in the handwriting. Not so much as type. Otherwise, I'd be analyzing all of you in the chat. But it doesn't
What
come
did
through
she
in the
say?
typeface. No, I'm just kidding. Amy said I had such an enormous challenge, almost a test at work. Then when my boss demanded from me to tweak results so they can use it for the faux narrative, I didn't want to, and they demoted me for 6 months. Wow.
Wow.
Yep. But
That's
that demotion
crazy.
ended up being a blessing. There you go. See, when we do what we know in our heart to be right, it
Yeah,
always comes back to us as blessing. I love that. Dead Game
that is
says
so
I
true.
Yeah, Dead Game says I find it to be 60-40 facial expressions and body language versus actual speech. It might be
Yep.
more than that. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's I would say it depends on the person, because there are people. So we have what we call baselines, and so you look at a person's normal baseline behavior first before you look at anything else, and so that's a part of it. Like if you're a person who moves around a lot normally when you speak, you move. Let's say you move your body more than your face, right? Like you look at somebody like Candace, right? She's always like doing this, whatever, bouncing, whatever. Like, all right. So, but then when she's lying, she does it more, right? So it's stuff like that, right?
Mm,
Where you look at, again, you look at somebody like Erica, who she doesn't move her body a lot. So when I'm looking at her stuff,
hmm
yes, everybody's kind of different. And I would say men don't move their bodies in general, don't move their bodies as much. I have to say that because look at Vince, he's bouncing like he's on, well, I don't know, like
yeah,
I don't know what he's
yeah,
on
yeah.
or what he's not on. He's definitely not on Ritalin. We'll say that. Okay. Hope you're in here, Vince. Um, no, but so you have to go off somebody's baseline. And right, then what are they changing or doing differently? And like I've talked about, micro expressions are very fleeting. They're as small as 175th of a second.
hmm
So they're so tiny. And but other people don't have them that small all the time. That's just how small they can be. So
hmm
sometimes they're a second or whatever.
So have you heard that I think it's Apple primarily, but I'm sure it's everybody. That like when you land on a new web page, they'll snap a photo of your
Yes.
facial reaction so they know
Hmm.
what ads you responded well to or what media you responded in the way that
I've
their
heard
marketing
this,
or whatever wanted
and
to. Yeah,
I
very
totally
interesting.
believe it. I totally
Yeah.
believe it. So I don't use my phone for anything but phone calls. And when I do, I put it's on speaker. I
Yeah,
only
good for
use
you.
my PC, and I have a band-aid over the camera. And like even right now, this is an external camera that is plugged in over
There you
the
go.
band-aid.
There you go.
It's just my default.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good practice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been that way for years with I can't stand Apple either, but I do have an Apple phone. My kids kind of forced me to get one years ago when so I could communicate with them because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you know kids do this
Now
to
I
us.
heard I'll share it. If I can find it, I'm gonna share it with all the phone booth guys, but well, with the whole phone booth family,
Yeah,
extended family, as
all
you all are.
20,000 podcast
It,
podcasts.
yeah. But I actually found I'm looking into them right now, but I found it's kind of open source, but there's this company. I think it started open source, but anyways, it's a company now that has a total privacy cell service that it uses the T-Mobile servers, but in their company policy, they don't they don't even retain your credit card. They don't even
Interesting,
so you have to go on every you just have to go on and so it's a little bit more of a hassle, obviously.
right?
Um, but they don't. So like they've been approached by law enforcement before saying, "Hey, we need
Hmm.
all the text messages," and they don't even exist. They're like, "We don't have anything. We don't keep anything. It's just a
Wow.
pass through service." So
Hmm.
that might come in handy down the road. Although with our social medias, I think
Yeah.
if that if the totalitarian gun that's currently aimed at others comes our direction, then I don't
Right.
know if there's much. I think most of us will be pretty
So
honeypotted by the free speech on X.
right.
Go
I'll
ahead.
share my personal thoughts on that. I think that we're being surveilled, like our thoughts are being surveilled.
Mm,
And Shock talks a lot about this. They're
mm,
reading our brains. They're reading our thoughts. They know what we're thinking. They're telepathic. And so as much as I'm hiding my camera and I'm hiding this and that or whatever, I don't get too overwhelmed with oh, don't use WhatsApp, use Signal. No, don't use this, use that. Because it's like they know what they're watching us right now. Like they're
Yeah.
watching what you're thinking right now.
Well,
They know what you're about to say before you say it.
and yeah, and just the fact that it's been released now that they have technology that from a distance they can, well, they
Hmm.
say this is how it's done, but who
Right.
knows how it's actually
Yeah.
done, right? But
Right.
they say that they can read the synapses firing in your visual cortex, and they can
Hmm.
imagine, they can see what you're imagining or what you're looking at.
Right.
So and that's from a
Hmm.
distance. So if that's what they're telling us they can do, you know that they can do
Right.
much more.
Right.
Amy said, Andrew has the ability to turn on spy mode because all cell phones listen to us, and all of a sudden the ads show up about what we just talked
Yeah.
about.
Hmm. Happens all the time.
Yep, it's true all the time, all the
Yeah.
time.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, my goodness, Jen, I feel like we could talk for
Yes.
hours and hours.
Hours and
Yeah.
hours.
So, but it has been an absolute pleasure to chat
Thank
with you
you. It
this
has
evening.
been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing and being open. And it was a
Of
wonderful
course.
conversation.
It was a
Yeah.
wonderful it was a wonderful I can't say conversation, so maybe I have talked too much. It has been a wonderful conversation. I'm out of words, folks.
There you go. That's
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 all
all
she
she
said.
wrote. So at Blue Montauk on Twitter, on X, whatever. And then thank you, Dead Game. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah,
Any
thanks for
final
everyone that watched and commented.
Yeah, and any final thoughts? Final closing thought for the folks.
My closing thought for the folks is again, thank you all for participating and watching. I will be around the fam and on more episodes. Watch tomorrow night. I'll be on with Vince and Laz. And my final thoughts would be to keep on truthing. Don't let the naysayers get you down. Keep on posting. Keep on saying what you need to say because you're making a difference. You're making a
Hmm.
difference in a lot of people's lives. And I'll add to that that look at your impressions on your post. That's how many people you are reaching. Like you might not have that many followers, but you are really reaching people. People are looking at your content and you never know what a difference you're making to these people's lives.
Mm,
So,
yeah. No, I love it. I love it. That's great. And folks, love yourself. Love
love
yourself.
yourself. Yes. Unconditionally.
Unconditionally. Unconditionally. So, well, Jen, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for
My pleasure.
watching. I look forward to the next conversation.
Me too.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.